Well, first off, thanks for coming. Exciting time. We just had our banquet over the weekend. I think it's always kind of the first sign that the season is like really here, and we put in a lot of effort and time to get that event off to a great start and just to have a great time. We had Lauren Bay here. It's always great to celebrate our former players here, or people that have made a huge impact on our program. And so it was great to have Lauren and her family back here, see our girls all dressed up, and just celebrate them. So it was a great night, great event. And now we're in game week, so we're excited about this week. There's a lot going on, a little bit more than normal for a Monday, but I think that just tells us that the season's here and we're ready to start. So a little bit about this team. I've been pretty open, like I normally am, about our team, if it's good or bad. And I think we're really good. I've said that from day one. It's the most talented team that we've assembled in our 7 years. Great people, great softball players, great staff. Our staff just continues to grow. We keep being enabled by our administration to grow our staff inside, and it just helps. And the commitment here has been great. So this team, with COVID and all the extra years that these kids have been granted, I think is going to make the softball game really good the next 3 to 4 years, because of the experience that we're going to have on the fields across the country. So for our team, it's great to get kids like Busby and Pennington and Alexander and Morgan Day. I hope I haven't left any one of those guys out, but gives them this extra year to play, to compete, to be around their teammates, our program, the impact that they have around here in OSU is great, and so we're excited about them. This is the deepest team that we've had, pitching, lineup, defense, bench. I can't recall a time when we've had this, and I've been in a lot of good programs, and I don't know that I've ever been in a program. I've been in a place, obviously, all you guys know that we won 2 titles, and we didn't have a roster like this. So I think now it's in these kids' hands to make sure that it's the best team, not just the most talented group. So we need to become the best team. We're well on our way on that. I don't want to make it sound like we're not in a great spot. We're in a great spot, but we've got to continue that. We haven't put up a lineup yet, and when you put up a lineup and you get pinch hit for, or you get taken out of a game, that seems to kind of change things on any team in any sport. So we'll find out how strong, how together, how committed we all are when all that stuff happens for the first time. So, which will be Thursday night. So, just up and down this roster, experience, postseason experience, World Series experience, Super Regional experience, everything. We've got all of it, and we've got another really good team right down the road. So we know what that's like. We know we're not, the only great team around here, but we feel like we're a great team. We're just excited about what that brings. So I'm sure you guys have plenty of questions about them, and I'll just wait to kind of hear what you guys have to say.
What's your expectations for the transfers you brought in, specifically Miranda?
For her, it's to complement Kelly and more and Morgan Day, and to help Tatum grow, and for them to become the best staff that we can ever have. It's the most talented set of arms that we've ever had here, maybe in our history here. And I can't speak for Michelle Smith and Lauren Bay days. I wasn't here, or Melanie Roche. I wasn't here during those days kind of go back and try to learn, but I don't know the rosters. I mean, I was a baseball guy then, so it's kind of hard to know that stuff. But I'll just go ahead and say it's probably the best staff that we've ever had here as far as talent goes. So her job is to come in here and be the best version of her. Like, she doesn't have to be anybody else. She's never had this type of support around her, I can tell you that. So she doesn't have to be the horse. We have a horse here, okay, and Kelly's that, and Morgan Day's been a horse, and Miranda's been a horse. So it comes down to coaching. How do we use them? How do we utilize their skill sets the very best? And so she just has to be her. And then on the offensive side, she's got to earn her way in the lineup, and she knows that's probably been the one thing that hasn't come back quite as fast yet. It's coming better each day, but the pitching is probably a little bit farther ahead of that. So she's going to get plenty of opportunities, and so I just need her to be the best version of herself.
Hey, Kenny, as it relates to pitching, and you know there was a day and time in softball when there was one on every staff, and they rode her to the end.
Yeah.
When do you think that started to change? And now we've seen national championship teams and contenders.
Yeah.
They have multiple pitchers. When did you see that changing, and how important is it to have 3 or 4 now?
Well, I think when it really started to change was, the offense has really obviously improved in probably the last 10 years, I would say. And so you get to OKC and you play these double headers that have been wild. We've kind of got that stuff changed now, so it's a great thing. But you just can't survive anymore with those kids. If you got stuck in a loser's bracket, a number 2 had to emerge. So I think we've all taken notice of that over probably the last, I don't know, I've been in, this is my 10th year now in softball, which is wild. But I think, probably 5 to 6 years, you've really seen a major change in that, where you just need more. I tell you too, like, the pitching's not as specialized as what it was. I can remember being a young kid taking lessons, back when I was on the West Coast, and I saw girls, like, that's all they did was pitch. Pitch, 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 pitch. Now it's like, I think pitching has kind of gone down across our board because kids aren't really willing to put the work in like they have been in the past. When you get like our staff, when you get a Maxwell and a Day and a Nellish, a Clopton, a kid who lives, eats, sleeps, pitching. You have to be in love with pitching, and you have to be in love with this work that, like, nobody sees. And unfortunately, our society's changed where we have to show everybody what we're doing in order to be out there and to get social media followers and everything that seems to be important to us or to these kids. And so I think it's just changed. And so you've seen that there hasn't been just crazy dominant arms. And I think it really comes down to working. There are still some great ones out there. We've got them here, but they're just not as abundant. And so there's better coaching. There's more resources that have gone into offense. All the stuff that we're doing here, it's wild. The money that we spend, we're getting into this all into the data now, analytical side, which we've never done. Schools like OU have. I think you can see why they're progressing. They're progressing our game, and we need it. It's great, but I think we've just gotten better. The ball is hotter. The bat is better. That doesn't necessarily help an arm. That helps a hitter. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I think everything is. We know from a marketing standpoint, nobody wants to watch a 1-0 game. So we've found ways to make it better, but we need to make sure that we continue the pitching because nobody wants to see a 12-10 game too.
How do you feel about all the analytics and data with pitching? Is that something you want to get into in the future, or do you like to keep it kind of not as focused on that?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. I didn't want it, and now I'm in the middle of all of it. I have a couple of assistants that don't love it, but I think I've got a couple other ones that really do like it and are able to show me that there's some value. There's some real value in this, and so I like it, and I want it, and I want to. If there's one thing that can help Kelly or Haley or Sydney, they're all here. Like, if there's one thing that could help them, I want to show them that and give them that. I don't want to cloud their minds or turn them into robots. We take a lot of pride in not being that here, but I think we're being kind of arrogant if we decide to not use it and not take a look. And so sometimes you just have to grow. You just have to be willing to see new things, and we pride ourselves on that. And why we wouldn't do that on this, it's kind of arrogant. So we've jumped in. We've made some purchases. Some have been good, some have been poor, but I liken that to a learning curve. You got to invest some cash to learn, and we've done that. And I think we're very close to kind of fine-tuning exactly what we want and what's going to help us the very most. So I think there's a lot of value in all of it.
For Morgan Day, having that opportunity to sell into the team during the fall season, what did you see in her then?
She's just a worker. She loves to play. She's the most talkative player I've ever been around in my whole life. Sometimes you sit there and just go, man, zip it for a while. But can't change that, right? That's who that kid is, and I love it, and I think our team does too. And what I love about her is she walked in here the first day and she made her presence felt. Like, she just invested in all of our new kids, like, right away. Didn't hesitate, didn't peek through a door. She knocked the door down as she walked in a very respectful way. And she has the respect of her team. She's a tireless worker. She loves this school. Obviously, with Hunter playing on the football team, she's very invested there. So it's really cool to see that and to have people that can come in here and just jump in, and she's done that. She's earned a role like all of our kids have, and she's going to be a huge impact. And it's really cool to see. It's just really cool that we've got this opportunity for kids like her to come in here. Haley's the same way. Haley, it may have taken a little bit longer to kind of feel comfy, but for Morgan Day, it was like, boom, she just walked in, and from what I can tell, she just feels good and she's performed well.
You've had success over the last few years with transfers coming in and being really impactful players, but all along that time, you've also had Kylie, Cheyenne, and Sydney, players that you recruited out of high school.
Yeah.
What are those players that have been with the program since they came to you out of high school? What is their value?
Well, you have to have it. I mean, that's the. I don't want to cry, so this is. We can't survive on the portal. I mean, the portal for us has become a tool. Whether we've been good at it or not, that's for all of you guys to talk through. But we're going to continue to use it because it's an important tool. It's there. The rules state that we can use it. So I'm going to use it until we don't need it or whatever it is. But you have to have these kids like Penningtons and Naomi's and Factors and Alexanders. You have to have them. I mean, these are kids that in the Oklahoma kids, I mean, this is where they've thought about their whole life. Like, as young kids, it was either OSU or OU, right? That's the first two that those kids think about first. Like for Pennington, she'll go down as one of the greatest players ever here, and it has nothing to do with the numbers. It has everything to do with taking a chance, sticking it out, totally dusting off the tradition that was sort of had just gotten old and tired and not spoken about. And We had a run there where there were about 10 years after Sandy